we've been doing it for 20 years. That is a bit of sort of like, the base case of what you need to get done. But really the value of incentives is in driving the right behaviors with your sales reps and incentivizing them to do the things that you need, and then connecting the day-to-day activities of the reps with the corporate strategy and the corporate plan, right? And I think when you think about the problem space from that broader aperture, I think the thing that people start to understand is like, wow, incentives is actually hypercritical to me turning a strategy into reality and actually executing on our go-to-market. And I think that's what we help our customers sort of understand. And when we can put it in that broader context, it gives us a lot of opportunities to help our customers day to day.
Yeah, makes sense. What about from a trends perspective, the relationship between sales and marketing? What do you see changing there?
Well, it's always been, like I like to say, the strongest and most powerful 1-2 punch in business, when sales and marketing are working hand in hand and seamlessly as one organization, one team, one budget. I mean, it's an incredible outcome when you can get that to happen. And I mean, front and center in all that is really data, and data in terms of how you set KPIs, how you set goals, both activity and outcome levels. And so ensuring that you have a data set that is trusted and is reliable so that you can make data-driven decisions and you can call the ball and you can understand where there's hot spots and cold spots, or where you think the opportunities are. And so I think first it starts with the data, and second is sort of the old saying that culture trumps strategy, is making sure that you have leadership and a culture between sales and marketing that are open to a learning about what's working and not working, and new ideas, not being territorial or siloed in terms of operating, but truly partnering. And when that happens, you have the right set of data and targets and metrics that are trusted, and the right culture and operating rhythm around sales and marketing, great things happen.
And I mean, wouldn't you say it's also kind of the inverse of, when you have good data and a single source of truth, then it's easier to be aligned versus like sales has an anecdote they use and marketing has an anecdote, and
Sure.
So data can kind of be that equalizer, so to speak.
Yeah, that's right. And so like Xactly, for example, we also partner with finance. And so we have a finance, sales, and marketing where, we create a plan, we set of targets, and that plan and targets is something that we work towards every week, day in and day out, and use a data-driven approach to adjust in order to achieve the targets. And in that way, we're one team, looking at it in the same meeting at the same time, and it really creates momentum, the kind of momentum that yields the kind of outcomes that sales and marketing leaders are looking for.
Yeah. And so what about the end customer? There's new channels that pop up and other things like that, but what about customer behavior? What's changing there that the CROs and the sales teams need to understand?
I mean, I think, from our perspective, the world, obviously the last several years have been relatively challenging in the world, right? A lot has been thrown at companies and teams to navigate and to get through. And so what we're finding from a behavior perspective is that companies are recognizing that you have to be highly rigorous in how you operate your business to navigate these headwinds. And so, I think, every sales organization, and I agree with this perspective, there's a level of artistry and a level of science in running a go-to-market organization. And I think, we're probably in an age today where the science piece is all the more important, because it really is finding opportunities in a tough macroeconomic environment or in a world that's getting disrupted by exogenous things that are happening. And the only way you can do that is by looking at the data and saying, well, where are these opportunities? Where are we, where can we be the most successful? And how do we apply resources against those opportunities? And so I think when we talk to CROs, I think we're much more now having conversations where they're trying to figure out, how do I surface this information that I know we have in our enterprise at these key moments where I need to make critical decisions to guide the business forward? And that's definitely been an evolution over the last several years.
I mean, just to piggyback on that is, Gen AI is a massive opportunity, obviously, but how to take advantage, when and where to take advantage of Gen AI is something I think customers are struggling with. And so the behavior is, on the one hand, looking for a silver bullet. Oh, Gen AI can solve this problem, a sales productivity problem, for example. when the real problem is underlying. And so one of the things that maybe we'll talk more about is some of the innovation we've announced today and this week at the conference around our Xactly Copilot technology that is purpose-built for a specific use case within a specific application and process, not trying to be all things to all people or some sort of horizontal sort of Gen AI service, but really contextual in how it can solve the problems. I think those are the kinds of solutions that Xactly are going to market with to help address the kinds of behavior that we see in the buyer community.
So, we're here at the Upside conference, plenty of announcements, and we're still in halfway through here, so more to come. But I wanted to start by talking about Xactly plan design and a little bit about what it is and who can benefit from it.
Yeah. So plan design is a new application that we're launching, and it effectively is an app that enables companies to rigorously pull together their comp plans using our vast amount of benchmarking data that we have. We're the only vendor in the marketplace that has that data, and then provide tools to the organization to model out different scenarios, to collaborate around those ideas. I mean, the reality with comp plan design in particular is that it is one of the few activities that really brings together a wide cross-section of people, right? So typically the executive team really wants to understand what's going into this comp plan design because they want to make sure it's tied to the corporate plan. They want to make sure compensation is a big part of any company's budget, so they want to make sure they're spending those dollars appropriately. Obviously the CRO cares about it. Obviously the CMO cares about it because they're trying to figure out, well, I'm going to generate a bunch of leads. Like, how is that going to actually, get prosecuted through the sales team? The finance leader cares about it. And so it's this area that is cross-functional, an activity that very few activities are. And what we realized is that all of our customers were struggling with it, right? There is no software in the marketplace that helps pull all of these workflows, all the attendant data, all of the different sort of iterations that happen into a single application. In general, you talk to most companies, the way they do this is a bunch of ad hoc meetings, a bunch of smart analysts, a bunch of spreadsheets, right? It is a unwieldy process. And so what we said is there's a real opportunity for us to add value in this area and to codify all of this in software, but then more importantly, bring our 20 years of empirical sales performance data that we've been collecting and use that data to inform some of these decisions that are going to be made, in addition to the historical data that we have for our customers. And so we're really excited about it. I've been, talking about this with customers now for the last, several months, and every time I talk about it, eyes light up, and it's sort of also, along with a bunch of groans about how painful this process is. So we're really excited about kind of where we're taking this.
I mean, on top of that, it's a part of our intelligent revenue platform. So it's not an application that's been created in isolation. It's part of the overall platform strategy. So you can plan, design, manage, incent, and forecast all within the same platform. What does that mean from an end user perspective? It means within a single pane of glass. I can change applications, I can change process and use cases, in this case from plan or from incent or from forecasting, all within the same user interface. And that just adds productivity and delivers the kind of value that ongoing recurring value that customers are looking for.
Yeah, and just based on having a couple decades worth of data sitting behind that, to be able, so you can make intelligent decisions and your customers can do that. If you could talk a little bit more about the overall platform, maybe, because again, plan design being just one part of it, like what are some of the other updates?
Yeah. So we have been for the last several years building a unified platform that has functionality across the spectrum of what we consider to be what we call our intelligent revenue lifecycle. Now, the real understanding that we've had in our insight is that in order to really maximize sales team performance, you have to do multiple things really well, right? You have to plan well for that team, territories, quota, capacity. You have to then design a great comp plan that sort of connects that sales plan to the reps and makes it real for them. You have to then incentivize them in the right way and manage that incentive process so reps are getting paid, accurately and on time. And then you have to be able to look at what's coming and forecast that and make sure the things that you're working on are actually tied back to the plan, right? the reality in most worlds is that all of that is done in silos and disparate technologies and a bunch of manual processes. But you have to get all these pieces right in order to really drive sales performance. And so the reason why we've gone to a platform approach is to stitch all this together. From an architectural perspective, the platform is built on a single data backbone. So all of the data that's in our systems across these applications are available to every application, which is super powerful, right? Imagine, we do something simple that we call, or not simple, but we call it commission expense forecasting. So commission expense forecasting is an out-of-the-box piece of technology that we have. And what it does is it marries all of the intelligence we have in the commission system with all the intelligence we have in the forecasting system to tell reps, if you close this deal, given where you are in your comp plan, here's what you'll make on that deal, right? And we'll show that to the rep at the individual deal level, which then, assuming the comp plan is correctly structured, it's going to drive them to focus on the deals that have the highest commissions, which should be the deals most aligned to the comp plan. And similarly, we can aggregate this up for the finance leader who's trying to forecast the P&L, and this is a big line item in their P&L, and they can say, oh, well, here's what my commission expense forecast is.